going on, everybody? This is Poem here with Late Night Gaming. I wanted to give you guys a how to play Marvel Champions on Tabletop Simulator using the Late Night Gaming Marvel Champions official mod. This mod we made just with attention to detail in mind, efficiency, that kind of thing. We use it for our streams, and the people, our viewers have, been trying it out and playing with it themselves, and we've been asked to try to make a video that just explains how to use the mod and just start to finish, setting up and your game, and then just basic gameplay stuff. So the first thing you'll need to do, obviously, is get this mod downloaded. Now, if you're in this area, this is in Steam under Tabletop Simulator as the game, and then you can search for different mods. And if you just typed in Late Night Gaming, you'll see the Late Night Gaming Marvel Champions official mod. So obviously you're going to want to get subscribed to that, and it's not too big. Looks like we've got 30 people that are subscribed right now, so it's been working out. And I just keep it updated. You can see here, I'm filming this, it's November 18th, and it was last updated November 17th. And I've got 65 different updates. I'm constantly updating this thing with bug fixes, and if cards are, somebody reports that they're not the right size or something, there's an issue, then it gets fixed. So that's one thing I think you'll notice about this mod is just the, like I said, the attention to detail. So once you get the mod set up, you're gonna, want to obviously set up your game. It helps to just go ahead, change. You're gonna need to choose a color, so you can go to change color. Pick a color that's going to sit you down at one of these 4 spots. Obviously, the other thing is change team. So if you're playing with your buddies, you might want to be on the same team. This allows you to see each other's hands, which can be helpful. So there's 2 ways to get your hero set up. You can obviously use the import tool. So shout out to Hitch for creating this. And Hitch also customized this for our mod. So that was very nice of him to do that. He basically came in and helped me with the scripting so that, in particular, the Nemesis and Obligation cards are actually the correct size when they spawn in. You'll notice, I think he's working on a fix for the other mods. But a few days ago I reached out to him because all the cards would spawn the same size, and then these would need to be resized before they would go into the encounter deck before every single game. And so I asked him, if he could come up with a solution, and within 5 minutes the guy was working on it. He spent about an hour on it, and then he solved the problem. So shout out to Hitch on the import tool. So obviously, if you're on the marvelcdb.com website, you can build your deck. I believe you need to publish it. I'm not 100% sure, but then it gives you this, there's a number that's embedded in the URL, and you just type in that number and hit build, and it will bring in your deck. Now, coming over here, you'll notice this is if you wanted to build your deck while in the mod. So if you weren't using the database. So in this case, you would start with a deck bag. And this is going to give you the same thing here so that you were given. When you imported, it's going to give you your hero. It's going to give you the Obligation and Nemesis set. And then it's going to give you... It won't give you the complete 40 card deck. It's just going to give you the 15 cards that are in the Black Panther kit in this example. So you'll need to build the rest of your deck. So the way that you're going to do that here is you'll come over here to the deck building area. And let's say you wanted to play some leadership. what you do is if you want to place all the leadership cards, you just hit the place button. That will place the cards in events, allies, upgrades, supports, and resources. So if you're anybody like me, like running a lot of allies, so you're just gonna grab all the allies. You're gonna then select them, group them, and then the only other thing you need from this is 2 of these, Control C, Control V, and then you're gonna recall, because that's all you need from leadership. So I recalled the leadership cards, and now I place my basic cards, and the only thing I'm going to need here are all of these. I just need money to buy my allies. So I need ramp and money, and sweet. I do like Nick Fury a lot too, so I'm going to keep him. So he's going to stay. And then I hit recall. You know, another good card. It's got to go in every deck, right? Honorary Avenger. Now, the only thing that you got to be really careful on is if you don't copy and paste. So it actually just kind of happened there. If you don't copy and paste, if you just grab a card, like let's say I grabbed Downtime, because I was going to try to play that, and then I recall, it'll go away. It'll go back in the bag. So you need to actually copy and paste when you're using this deck building tool. And I'm pretty sure that even if you save this deck and then somebody was deck building, it could still come out of your, I'm not actually sure, but like even the next time you played, if someone did that, it could recall it. So just be really careful with that. And again, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to play. I'm going to group these, and I'm going to kick some butt with my Black Panther deck. Okay. So now that I have my deck, whether this was my deck that I custom made or I got it imported, I've got my deck bag right here. I'm gonna want to save all the contents of my deck into my deck bag and get it named and stuff so I can use it like today, but also next time. So I have it saved. What I like to do is I like to put my deck in first, then my obligation stuff, and that's so I don't forget my obligation. Forget to take it out of and get it into the encounter deck. And then, so when these heroes come in right now, they're coming. The backside hasn't been loading. I need to get, that's a little bit of actually a bug right now. So actually, you'll need to get the hero out of these deck bags until we can get this sorted out. It could be, let's see, that didn't fix it. Yeah, so here's a little tip. Here's a trash can. Now, this is a little bit of an issue here. So we're going to need Black Panther, so I'm going to go ahead and get him out of this one for now until I can get this importer tool to get fix that bug again. I like encountering bugs because then I can try to get them fixed. So we'll figure out what's going on there. All right, so then when I'm ready to save, right click, and then I can rename it whatever I want. Awesome Leadership OP. My capital P, Shift P, capital P opens up Discord or Steam or something. It's the same keyboard command. Oh man. So you save object, and then boom, you're ready to go. Now you've got your deck, and you're ready to then come down over here and get it set up onto your mat. So the hero goes there. You'll leave the obligation up here for now. And then you've got your deck. The bag for now can get thrown away, and you need a health dial, so you can grab that. Shout out to Duck Speed for making these health dials. That guy makes some amazing stuff. Alrighty, so I just like to, this is like the set aside zone up here. So this is the Nemesis set in case that comes up. This is my obligation. I'm going to leave this here because I'm going to get it into this encounter deck at some point. Now what you'll want to do is, I think you're at this point ready to set up your game with the villain and the modulars of your choice. So in the villain area, you'll notice a couple things. These are villains. You've got obviously standard and expert cards, and when you're ready to place them and get to use them, you just hit the place button, and then what happens is they automatically go into the playmat on the where the encounter deck will be. So these, and they also mix together. So there was 3 expert cards and the 7 standard cards, and they've already created a deck for you. And you're skeptical that your Black Panther leadership deck with all allies and nothing else is going to work, so you're just going to try it out against Rhino. And you can see here that Rhino's deck now has basically combined with the standard and expert cards, and you're on the right track to getting set up. Other things here in the villain area, you've got the book for the Rise of Red Skull. If you're going to do the campaign, you can see here it's pretty small and it's difficult to actually read it at that size. And so if you really wanted to play with it, I would recommend L, unlock it, bring it over here, and then you can use the scale up setup to get it much bigger, and then that will allow you to read it a little bit more easily there. The other things you'll notice here, you've got other cards from the Rise of Red Skull, including tech upgrades, experimental weapons, conditions, and the expert campaign set. Now, if let's say you changed your mind, you did not want to play against Rhino, that can be a little difficult because I believe it did already combine with the standard and expert cards. Yeah, so it might be helpful for you to, I mean, we can test it. I mean, if I recall, I believe it will recall. Okay, I did not like to recall the encounter deck now because we've mixed it, the deck with these guys. So that can be an issue. So you may not be able to recall it if you wanted to play something else. You might have to go do a manual setup here where you just take your standard cards, your expert cards, and put them off to the side for a second. And I'm not even sure if you put these back in here if it'll even place. If you wanted it to, it won't. So it doesn't like that. Recall. Yeah, it doesn't like it. But now you changed your mind. You can just delete everything, just select it, and then now you can just place the claw stuff, and you'd be able to play with claw instead. Cool. So obviously you're going to get the defense network side scheme. We're going to play it on expert, so we need to switch to the expert claw, and we'll need defense network, side scheme, and then we're also going to need immortal claw, I believe. All right, so we're going to need these. This is part of setup, and those are the side schemes. We need a modular as well, and they recommend Masters of Evil. So you'll see here the modulars are all named, and you can see the Masters of Evil is right here. The art is one of the cards from the deck, from the modular set here. And again, you just hit place, and it will place those cards into the encounter deck. Okay, so we need to add some threat tokens to these side schemes. Our main scheme threat is listed here. It automatically spawns in on the playmat when you load the mod. Now the side scheme threat is these tokens here, and you just grab them, and they will always spawn with 4 threat. Now I'm playing by myself. It's going to be, this should be 2 plus me, so that's 3, and then this one is 3. All right, and I need to adjust Claw's health. He needs 18 plus the 10 from Immortal Claw, so he's going to have 28. So I'm just doing my setup. Technically, I believe, according to rules, you do all the setup before you shuffle in your obligation card. That's something to consider. Okay, so that's why, because right now I actually do underground distribution when revealed before I shuffle in affairs of state. So I'm going to shuffle this. I might get this out of the way just for a second, and I'm gonna discard cards until I get a minion. Now the way the discard works is you can just drag things straight into the discard pile, automatically turn it for you like that. So it's a little bit you don't have to like use the Q or the E to do a rotation. You can simply just put the card straight in. So I got my minion. He gets tough. So you'll notice I've got my tokens down here, and the villain has their own tokens and you have yours, and I recommend keeping it that way because the tough and confused and stun tokens are different sizes. So the villain gets big ones and you get small ones there. All right, so going to the tokens, just to finish token overview, you've got acceleration tokens here. These are infinite deck bags. They spawn infinite numbers of these items. And you can always put them back if you grabbed extras. The only time you can't put them back is if you change them at all. So we changed this, and so we can't put it back. Okay. That is, you'll notice that this is like a little trash bag. You can notice there's a trash bag, tokens and trash bag at 3 different locations so that every player either has it to their left or to their right when playing. Okay, so these tokens can be a little bit complicated. Obviously, they were designed by us to be changeable. So you can just press the number on your keyboard and it will just automatically change to a different number. This creates a little bit less of a messy situation with tokens, constantly grabbing tokens, and so on and so forth. So it's a little cleaner that way. The other thing that these tokens do is they snap right to the middle of the card. So if you had some sort of, let's say this was an ally and he took damage, the token just snaps right in. When the ally dies, you can just take the token, put it in the trash, discard your ally. Okay. All right. This guy still has tough. Okay. So now I'm actually ready to shuffle in my obligation. I'm ready to do my setup ability. Actually, I think setup happens. I'm fairly certain that setup happens after my mulligan. Don't quote me on that. I don't like any of these cards except for this one. It's the only one I like. So that's not going to work. So when you're ready to draw, you just press the number. So 5 lets me draw. And then cool, I've got at least a Shiri here that can get me set up a little bit. I didn't build this deck. This is literally the default from the the token importer tool. All right, so then we would complete our turn. We could, what are we gonna do? The setup now to go get some stuff. Normally I get the thwarting one, but yeah, I mean, that's usually what I do. So that's what I would do. All right, so I'm going to go here, get the Shiri. She lets me go and get another thingy-mabobber. Okay. Maybe the move damage or the one that lets me like do 4 damage, I think is pretty good. Where's that one? 2 damage, 2 damage. The claws. I think that's probably pretty good. I like the claws. So it looks like I'm just going full, like, this is what it has to be, right, guys? So Shiri can knock off, well, actually, I can just start working down I'm not going to be able to kill this guy anyways, so I'm not going to have a good way to knock off this tough later, but why don't I just start working on this this side scheme. You know what's going to get this tough off is my retaliate. It's going to knock off this tough. Now, let's say you wanted to throw something away. You can go over here, put it in the black hole right there. All right. So then she was exhausted, right? Okay. And now we're ready to drop to 5. The villain would get his turn. So he's going to get 2 threat because he's got the Immortal Claw here. That gives him an acceleration for this round. And when he attacks me, he gets 2 additional, or 2 boost cards here. So he's going to hit me for 2. Okay, and I get retaliate. So then this guy hits me for 1. And then I get retaliate, so I knock off his tough. Okay, great. All right, we're getting set up now. I'd like to be able to, I mean, helicarrier would be nice, but I kind of need like just the claws and then the Wakanda. Maybe I'll save this helicarrier for later, for next turn. All right, so I'd get Wakanda forever. Can do 1 to the villain and then 1 to this guy. And then, so that's with this thing. I like to exhaust these even though I'm not supposed to. And then I think I'll do 2 to this guy and just kill him. So again, trash can, discard pile. And then I can remove 2 threat as my final sequence. I think I'm not going to be able to hit the side scheme. Yeah, it's just going to end up being something like that. I guess I could do 1 more with Shuri. Just put a 2 right there. Thwart for 1 off that. Got rid of Immortal Claw. We can throw away the token. And we can remove the 10 health now that he doesn't have Immortal Claw anymore. And again, we're pretty much playing Marvel Champions on TTS. We've got, you know, I went over how to deck build, how to import. We'll get that fixed a little bit. We've got how to set up your villain and modulars. You know, just how to use the tokens, how to, you know, manage your play mat. These, if you don't like these mats and you have your own mat or something, like you can just unlock this and just like play with the play area too. That's another option. if you don't like these mats, like if you want to get the mats from the other table that have the pictures of the guys on them and just come in here and use that, you can do that as well. The only thing we didn't really talk about was just like TTS menus and things like that. And I just want to go over real quick some options there. So obviously the loading in your deck that you saved, so you just go to your saved objects and you'll see here that you can select something and then you can place your deck bag wherever you'd like. The other options here, loading a game. The game TTS will like do auto saves, so if something happened and your computer died or something, you can come here and this auto save will allow you to pick up kind of where you left off. So I changed my mind. I didn't want to get rid of it. I wanted to keep playing after the video was over, and you know, so I wanted to kind of go back. So this does a periodic save for you. Let's see here. Other things in the menu that I think are important would be when you're in multiplayer, setting a server password, which I can't do right now. In single player, you can change the number of people that can be in your game. Other things would be permissions. So this can be particularly problematic to allow table flipping and changing colors to occur. And now, if somebody is promoted, then they can do all these things. But like if somebody's not promoted and you have table flipping check there, they can come into your server if you don't have a password and flip your table and or change a color and mess up your game state. So you really want to either have a server password or just uncheck those just in case. Let's see, other helpful tools. I like menu configuration. And one thing that you might find useful is full screen is automatically checked, but you may want to uncheck that. And that allows you to actually minimize your TTS in order to like have your desktop and then be able to, you know, just have this be a window like that you're using, and then you can minimize it and do other stuff if needed. So that's one I use all the time. The other one I use all the time is actually in interface. I go to the top menu and I make this top menu, uncheck that and hit apply. And then this menu actually goes away. I find that it takes up a lot of space, and I don't like it there. I particularly don't like it there when I'm streaming and stuff. So I make that menu go away all the time, and that could be helpful. To make that come back, obviously I hit escape, and that's how I got to the configuration area, and then I can give myself the top menu. The other thing that it may default to is it may give you these tools on the left, and for the most part you aren't going to need any of these, and so you don't really need these tools to be there, so you can just uncheck that for the most part. That's what I recommend. Yeah, so I do kind of almost recommend like having this here to like load your deck and stuff and saved objects, but then usually once the game starts I just go to top menu and just make it go away for the rest of the game. Okay, I hope you guys found this one enjoyable, and hopefully I covered everything. You know, just looking around, I noticed this little black hole. I don't know if I talked about that. You can activate to like throw something away and you'll never be able to get it back. Whereas these little trash cans right here, you can always get stuff back out of those. Yeah, so that can be helpful for like bigger stuff that for some reason you wanted to throw away, the black hole there. I think, yeah, once again, I think I covered everything. I hope you guys, you know, try out our mod and give it a chance. I think it's pretty cool, and it's fun to play on. So definitely hit that like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And if you haven't seen us play Marvel Champions, we run a live stream every Friday night at 7 p.m. Pacific. It's a 4-player stream. There's the 3 guys from Late Night Gaming, me, McBobber, and Beacon Fire. And then we have a rotating guest each week with a schedule in advance posted on our Discord. And so I encourage you to check that out. And as always, if you made it this far, you are my hero. See you guys later.